Adamo is that he does understand all of those traditions and all of the beautiful tunes that we're used to hearing and the harmonies that we're used to hearing. So the piece is actually quite lyrical, quite traditional, and he chooses some moments to use those more angular structures, but they're always tied to the text. So as an audience member, I think you really do feel like this is an opera of the canon. This is an opera both for our time and one that will last for probably hundreds of years. Mark Adamo is just so tied to the text, and the text is rooted in Concord, Massachusetts, and so you really do feel somehow, maybe it's just subliminal, like you are listening to music in a parlor in a New England household. The music is so tied to the speech that it's not as predictable as you would normally think. And so as a listener, you just sort of feel like this is an exciting scene with people talking and making music, but behind the scenes, learning the music takes a lot of slow practice and practice with each other, so that you have to know both your own part and all the other parts around you in order to succeed with this piece. One of the main tunes in this piece that you hear over and over and over again is a really simple, just 3-note motif. And the words that go with this melody are "Things change, Joe." Sometimes you hear it with that text sung, and sometimes you just sort of sense it in the background, or sometimes it's set to different music, but you hear it over and over and over again. And I was thinking about this the other day. It actually is really interesting that Mark Adamo is like blending the traditional and contemporary in just this little microscopic element that he uses over and over again. He uses what's called a rising fifth. And we hear rising fifths all the time, every day, in electronics, in Western music. That's sort of an acknowledgement of his roots in traditional classical music. So that's sort of the first half of it. And then in the second half of the melody, he finishes it with what's called a descending tritone. Way back when, it was actually called the devil's interval, because when you heard it, it meant that there was like a devil or somebody really evil. You only really use it if there's something really bad happening or there's a devil in the room. And even though it is used in classical music, composers wouldn't use it melodically, and certainly not all the time throughout a piece of music. And so the fact that Mark Adamo is so easily able to take these two elements and blend them into something quite poignant, something that you, as an audience member, you might just sort of sense that there's this common thread throughout the piece, and that you are at once, you're at home and you're challenged a little bit by this music.